Hello everyone and welcome to the Retro Seller, where today we're going to be looking at another handheld from China, this one being the R36MAX. This is essentially an unbranded system, but you can see it all over places like AliExpress, Banggood, places like that, TikTok shop. And I've seen it anywhere from like $28 to $45 or more. There's many different varieties of this, the R36S, the R36 Max, which this one is, the R36 Ultra. I think the difference between each one is kind of negligible. Nevertheless, we have the Max version here, which I got on AliExpress for $28.09. And it's not a bad system. We're going to take a look at it, but it seems to be on par with one of the Ambernix or Powkitty devices. But again, we'll see when we take a closer look at it. So the specs on this system are, it has a CPU running an RK3326 with an ARM Cortex A35 running at 1.5 gigahertz. Its GPU is a Mali G31MP. Running at 520 megahertz. Its RAM is 8 gigabytes. Its operating system is running Linux. It has a 4,000 milliamp battery on it that they say gets you around 6 hours, give or take. It has a 4-inch IPS screen running at 720 by 720 resolution, which should be good for, your retro games. I know it runs the DS on this and PSP, which probably won't look as good on it as the rest of the systems would. This says it has 18,000 games, but it depends on the SD card that you get. They have a 64 gig or 128 gig. I got 64 gigs on this one. It says it runs over 30 emulators, including MAME, N64, PS1, Neo Geo, all the Game Boys, NES, SNES, Genesis, CPS 1, 2, and 3, PSP. I know the PC Engine is on it as well. I'm not entirely sure that the higher end systems, especially N64 and PSP, and maybe even Dreamcast, which is also on it, will run all that great, but we'll see when we take a look at it. How about we take a look at this, do a little unboxing, and see if this is something you want to add to your handheld collection. This is the box for the R36MAX. It's a decent box if that's your thing. And on the back it has the various specs that we showed at the beginning of the video. So how about we open it up and see what we get inside. Oh, we get this nice solid case here, not too bad. Let's zip her open and see what's inside. And this would be the console. We'll look at that shortly. And what else do we have here? We have a USB-C cable here and a nice screen protector and wipes to clean it off. Here is the user manual. Basically has, again, the same thing, has the specs on it, basic functions, nothing special. QR codes for other languages, that's nice. And let's look at the console. Now let's take a look at the R36MAX, and how about we do the super satisfying removing of the screen protector. And as you can see, here's the IPS screen, 4-inch, 720 by 720. The build quality is actually pretty decent. I'd say it's on par with the Ambernix RG35XX line of devices that they have. Decent plastic. Has a really good D-pad. I like how it's sort of arched a little bit. It feels like it's pretty responsive Got A, B, X, Y. Select and start your Nintendo Switch style analog sticks. And here in the middle, although it's a little wonky, it looks like a spinner. I'm assuming that could be used for games like Tempest. That should be interesting. Just doesn't feel all that great. Down at the bottom, we have two USB-C ports. One is for charging. One is for connecting to your PC if you want to load more ROMs to it. Here is your headphone jack. And on this side, you have your volume controls, space for your SD card, and another SD card, so it has dual SD cards. This is your return button, I believe, and your power button. And on the back, you can see it has your L1, L2, R2, R1 trigger buttons, which feel clicky, pretty decent. I like how they're spaced, where the inner ones are raised a little bit, so you know you're not going to accidentally hit it. And the feature that I like, which I think sets this apart from most of these Game Boy style handhelds, is these little bumps you have here, which are quite comfortable and really ergonomic, and your hand just fits around it really nicely. I think that's a really good touch. So how about we power this puppy up? So now we have it loading here. It's the one thing, I think it's the spinner. You jiggle it, you can actually hear it wiggling around. Don't think I'm a fan of that, but there you have it. And now it is loading the emulators. And here is the main menu. So as you can see, it's running RetroArch down here. So it has all the features that you'll see on most of these emulation devices. So there are things you can do, tweaking frame skipping and whatnot to try and improve the performance. We're not going to get into it in this video. There's tons of resources out there on other channels, on the internet, and I've done a couple things in the past about it, so we won't really waste too much time with it. But as I said, here's the menu, which is actually pretty decent. Let's go through some of the emulators it has here. PlayStation, PSP, all games, favorites, arcade, CPS 1, 2, and 3, MAME, PC Engine, Famicom as well. So that's the disk system one, though. Super Famicom, Nintendo Entertainment System, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Nintendo DS, Sega SG-1000, that's neat. Mega Drive, Genesis, Dreamcast, Game Gear, Neo Geo, Neo Geo Pocket, Neo Geo Pocket Color, and back to PlayStation. Okay, so we will now just go in and play a bunch of games on this. We're not going to play every system and multiple games. We'll try some of the basic ones, go up to the higher end ones, see how they run, and that should do it. So how about we start off with a PC Engine game. All right, we're trying to play some GoldenEye on this, and as you can hear, it's sort of glitching. The audio is a little choppy. Well, we'll see how the actual gameplay is. If the clouds up on the top look like crap, then you know it's not working right, and they look like crap. That's weird. So it's the left trigger that actually fires the gun. So that is weird. You can remap on this, but I just want to see kind of what's going on. Yeah, it's going real slow too. It's not very playable, so that sucks. Sounds a little glitchy, but it's playable, I guess. Hear that audio? Seems a little sluggish, but I mean, it's playable. I think we got a good idea as far as how this thing runs. So how about we finish this video off with a PlayStation Portable game? We'll try Soul Calibur Broken Destiny.
I'm not afraid anymore. Battle 1. Fight.
Here you can see PlayStation Portable looks actually pretty clear on this, and considering it's kind of letterbox like this in here, it's not that bad. This is a little glitchy, a little choppy, but surprisingly it runs pretty decent, and the speed is okay and certainly playable. But anyway, that should wrap up our look at playing some of these games. And how about we finish this video? Well, that was our look at the R36MAX Handheld console. No real surprises with it as far as what systems that it ran well and didn't run so well. Obviously, as we saw, the N64, PSP, Dreamcast had some issues with it, as expected. But all your other systems, you know, your more lower end stuff like PS1, your NES, SNES, Genesis, all that kind of stuff is obviously going to run well on it, which it did. But all in all, I think it's a pretty good system. It'd be great to get it for your kids as a stocking stuffer for Christmas, or for yourself if you're looking for something to do while you're sitting on the Thunder Bucket at home or at work. Of course, you're actually getting paid to do it at work. Anyway, that was our look at it, and that should wrap it up. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.